The ultimate judo success secret. I would like to share with you one of the strangest things that I learned as a judo player. I really didn't understand it at first, but it became clearer to me as I got older. This thing has been one of the best kept secrets that I've been able to hold as a coach, and it's something that I share with the judo players, coaches, and instructors that I work with and consult. In a recent interview, I was asked about the current landscape of judo, and a reporter questioned me about our sport and its practitioners, and he asked, "Dr. Ferguson, in your opinion, what's wrong with most judo players today?" I sat there in silence for a moment, and many things ran through my mind. I thought about coaches, coaching education, national governing bodies. I thought about the International Judo Federation and the rules of judo. I thought about the challenges of the grassroots movement and the Olympic movement. I thought about all of those things, and then it hit me. The core issue and the core problem, it's not with all those external factors. What's wrong with most judoka today is that they do not understand that being good at judo has absolutely nothing to do with judo. That's right. Being good at judo has absolutely nothing to do with judo. It has to do with your ability to think, process, apply, and adapt. Look, we operate and live in a world where tools, instrumentation, devices, applications, iPads, iPods, smartphones, and research are literally only a click away. We live in an age which is called the information age. But since we have so much available to us that contributes to why we use so little, and thus we take all of the options available for success in judo for granted. How about this? What if we took 100 judo players who start with the same instructor, in the same location, in the same dojo, who are all 5 years old, and look at their careers by the time they are 70? Do you have any idea what the careers of these judo players will look like? Out of these 100 judoka, who all start even at the age of 5, all of them started even at the age of 5, had the opportunity to be great. See, in the beginning, they are all having fun and learning judo. And then as they get older, they get competitive. And when the competition increases, more than half of them will drop out. They'll say that they're no longer interested in the sport or interested in competition, or they haven't been allowed to compete because their parents didn't want to force them to do the sport, the art. Then by 22, the only ones who are left in the sporting arena are the ones that have selected to make judo and the pursuit of excellence in the sport of judo and in the art of judo their chosen way of life. These individuals believe that they're going to be successful. If you ask any one of them, they believe they're going to win a national championships, a world championships, be on a world championship team, or be on an Olympic team, or win an Olympic medal. They all believe this. And if you ask them, they will all tell you that they are going to be successful in judo and do these particular things. If you ask any one of them if they believe that they're going to be successful, they would all tell you that they did. And you would notice the eagerness of spirit, that pep in their step, that go-getter attitude, and that I'm not taking no for an answer type of spirit. You would notice that they have a love for judo and a fervor for judo success. But by the time they're 70, only one will be an Olympian and or a legitimate Olympic hopeful. 5 will be national champions. 15 will have at one point won a national medal as a junior, senior, or master's player. 15 will still be in judo but no longer competing. And the other 14 will have quit the sport altogether. Now just take a moment and think about this. Out of 100 judokas, 64 of them will quit. Out of 100 judo players, only one will be an Olympian or Olympic hopeful. The question that comes to mind is why? Why do so many fail to achieve judo success? What has happened to their eagerness of spirit from their youth? What happened to that pep in their step, that go-getter spirit and attitude, and that I'm not taking no for an answer type of thing that they had before? What's become of their judo success plans, their dreams of winning, their hopes of being the best? What is the reason for such a great divide in the number of those who were actually able to achieve judo success and those who were not? Why such the numerical chasm between the intent of these judo players and the true accomplishments of others? See, only a small number of judo players will achieve judo success. It is impossible to place a numerical value on success because one person's success is different than another's. But we can most definitely and certainly define judo success. See, in the book The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale defines success as the progressive realization of a worthy idea. So what we will agree to is that judo success is the progressive realization of a worthy judo goal. That means that a judo player is working towards a set and established goal and has a plan to get there. That judo player is achieving judo success if they are doing that. If that judo player is not doing that, that judo player is a failure. I will say it again. We will agree that judo success is the progressive realization of a worthy judo goal. That means that that particular judo player that is working towards a set and established goal and has a plan to get there is definitely achieving judo success. And if a judo player is not doing that, that judo player is a failure. Judo success is the progressive realization of a worthy judo goal. Now, when it comes to success and failure, people tend to believe that these two things are polar opposites, meaning that people think that when you fail an exam, or when you fail in a relationship, or when you fail at winning, that means that you're a failure and that you're not successful. Well, that's not true, because success doesn't happen in a vacuum. Success is the addition of failures with the subtraction of one of the failures occurring at the right time. See, success does not happen in a vacuum. Success is the culmination and the addition of failures with a subtraction of a failure occurring at the right time. That means that you will most likely fail many times before you ever succeed. But that one time when you do is when the failures will be subtracted from existence, because success is the addition of failures with the subtraction occurring at the right time. So you have to fail and fail and fail and fail and allow those failures to add up. Because if those failures don't add up, then you don't have the equation which is necessary for success. Because you have to add up those failures and then subtract the right failure at the right time for success to occur. With that being said, success is not the opposite of failure, nor failure the opposite of success. The opposite of success is what I call the crime of conformity, where the behavior of conformity is actually criminal. And we see this in judo all the time. You're doing uchikomis because somebody else is doing uchikomi. You're practicing a throw because you saw somebody else practice a throw. You have adopted this particular model because you've seen this model work in Japan, or this model work in Europe, or this model work in Brazil. You have started to do things that you see other people doing just because you see them doing it. And it's criminal. Conformity is a downright spiritual death. It's like committing spiritual suicide, to the point where you could reasonably and with a good conscience call conformity the true assassin of success. See, Harvard professor and Yale-trained psychologist Herbert Kellman wrote a seminal research on social conformity. And in this research, he explains what he called normative conformity, where a person fits in a group in order to be accepted. This principle of conformity has assassinated more successful judo careers than any type of injury you can imagine. Such thinking has caused many judo players to act like the wrong group of judoka. Just think about it. It is those who are in the majority who we should not emulate. It is those who are in the minority who we should emulate, not those in the majority. Why should we conform to the people who are doing most of the losing, most of the failing? Conformity is why most judo players never reach success in their sport. And if you ask most judo players why they conform, they wouldn't be able to tell you. Most judo players line up a certain way, they tie their bell a certain way, they practice a certain way, they throw a certain way, they prepare a certain way, and they do all these things out of conformity. They don't practice newaza, they do a certain newaza move, they do a certain turnover, they do a certain throw, they do a certain gripping sequence. They can't even tell you why they do it. I can't tell you how many times I have coached and asked somebody why they do it, and they will shrug their shoulders and then look off. Because they don't really know why, and then they're irritated because I'm challenging them on that which they have adopted or adapted out of conformity. See, most judo coaches teach a certain way, they run the classes a certain way, they instruct a certain way, and they believe certain things about judo due to conforming. See, these judo players, the ones who conform, they have not chosen to take ownership of their lives or their careers in the sport, in the art of judo. They remind me of judoka who, just blindly train, compete, and then purchase tickets to travel, train, and compete through Europe because that's what everybody else is doing. They hop on a plane, they go to train in Japan because that's what everybody else is doing. If you ask them why they're doing a training camp, lifting a certain way, practicing a certain way, or doing certain tournaments, very few of them can whip out a detailed macro cycle or a detailed plan which has been constructed for them by a professional for the purpose of their individual goals and desires. Therefore, their experiences are shaped by happenstance at best and circumstance by luck, not by way of a plan. These people thus believe in luck, in good luck and bad luck. How can they not? It's what they've invested in. Now, let's get back to our definition of judo success. Who achieves judo success? Well, the person that achieves judo success is the person who is actively pursuing the progressive realization of a worthy judo goal. He's a judo player who says, I'm going to become a certain thing or reach a certain level, and then begins working toward that judo goal. He's the person who says, I want to be a national level player, and then begins working at becoming a national level player. He's the one who says, I want to become an Olympian, and then starts working towards becoming an Olympian. He's the one who says, I want to be on the world team, and starts working towards getting on the world team. See, a judo player who has achieved judo success is a judoka who wanted to teach kids judo and is doing an excellent job at teaching kids judo. A judo player who has achieved judo success is a judoka who wanted to compete at the Olympic Games and ends up competing at the Olympic Games. A judo player who has achieved judo success is a judo player who wants to learn all of the kata and pursues that goal. See, a judoka is successful when they are deliberately and purposefully doing a predetermined job or task because that goal is what he or she decided to do. But very few people do that. Very few. Now, if you really want to look at this thing carefully and critically, you will see that we really aren't competing against anyone. See, when it comes to being good at judo, you're really not competing against anyone. The only person that we are competing with is ourselves. In order to achieve judo success, all we have to do is assassinate the assassin of judo success. And that particular assassin is conformity. All we have to do is eliminate the desire to conform. Instead of competing, all we have to do is practice, train, and set goals for judo success. See, as a former competitor and a world-class coach, I've looked for the golden thread for success in the sport of judo. I looked for that one constant that could determine whether a person would be a success in judo or not. I wanted to know, was there a key to unlock the doors of success in judo, and if so, what they were, or what was it? I wondered if there was a judo success key that a person could utilize to foretell success if they knew about it and knew how to utilize it. Well, there is such a judo success key, and I have also discovered it. And I say also because I am not the first one to discover it, although I might be the first one to share it with you. Have you ever imagined why so many judo players train so hard and do so many repetitions after repetition, and skin eliminating uchikomi after uchikomi, and body jarring nagakomi after nagakomi, without ever achieving anything close to judo success? And others seem to just coast through judo practice and half attend workouts, and yet seem to win doggone near everything. I am sure that you have seen people like this. I recall coaching two-time Olympian Taraji Williams-Murray, and he was getting so frustrated because he saw someone like this in practice. Someone who wasn't working as hard as him, but seemed to just win everything. It's like those people can't lose a shiai even if they tried to. They win and win with such a pattern of regularity that even you start believing that they should win. It's like they step on the mat, and winning for them is a foregone conclusion. Have you ever noticed that a person who has achieved judo success tends to continue to be successful, and those who fail tend to continue to fail at the sport? It's because of one thing, and one thing only: goals. Judo players who succeed are the ones with goals. They are the judo players who know what they want and have a detailed plan in order to achieve success. Now think of an airplane leaving an airport, and think of it with, its complete flight plan programmed in its GPS, in its global positioning system. The captain, the crew, the flight attendants, and the passengers all know exactly where they're going. As a matter of fact, they know where they're going, they know when they should arrive, and they know how long the journey will take. They know. They have a detailed plan to execute. It's already all plugged in the GPS. All they have to do, push a button and go. This plane has a definite destination and a definite goal. And judo players with goals find judo success because they know their definitive destination and they have a definitive goal. Now let's do this. Let's look at another example. Let's take another airplane, just like the first one, only let's not give it a captain. Let's not give it a crew. Let's not give it a GPS, a global positioning system, and let's not give it a flight plan. Let's give it zero direction, just a big engine, a lot of steel, some massive horsepower, but no destination and no goal. Just gas and power. Now how about we just start it up, mash the gas, and let it go full throttle? I think that you will agree with me that it is unlikely that this plane will ever get off the ground or out of the airport. And if it does get out of the airport, the plane is sure to be wrecked, the passengers inside hurt, and the people in close proximity pretty messed up. And plane accidents, whether in the air or on the ground, are pretty devastating. And this is how severely many people damage their lives by not having specific judo goals or something for which to aim, and doing so without guidance. It is the same with the modern judo player today. There's no other athlete on the planet like a world-class judo player. Trust me. Their balance, power, speed, and agility is unrivaled. The judo player's ability to balance technique with tactics is second to none. And the judoka's ability to transition from sport to professional life is almost seamless due to the intangibles that are learned from the sport of judo. Things like studying, analyzing, making quick adjustments, to strategy, to strategic implementation, to understanding tactics, and doing these things and getting them done right away, sometimes pre-hajime, sometimes in the middle of the match, or sometimes right after the match while getting ready for the next match. There was no other athlete in the world today like that of a world-class judo player. It was once said that the problem with international judo is so different from the grassroots version. At the lower level, people shy away from teaching that there are winners and losers. They shy away from going to tournaments where some kids go home empty-handed. I believe that is a problem. I think the problem with the grassroots version is that we don't teach the truth. It seems that at the lower levels of judo that the rules are fixed, not to prevent good judo players from winning, but to prevent the weaker judo players from going home as losers. In American judo, at the lower levels, nobody wants to face reality. Nobody wants to deal with the facts that winning occurs by setting goals. That's why it's so easy to win judo tournaments to become a nationally ranked judo player today. It takes no particular great amount of skill or technique to get on the national roster and to be ranked. You can literally compete, and sooner or later you'll find yourself on the national roster as a ranked competitor. And the bad part about it is this, is that there are some judo players that think that they can continue to operate like that and become the number one player in the country and become one of the best in the world like that. And as bad as that is, it's true. Because you can literally get good at competing by competing. But that type of method for success is like trying to play darts in the dark. I mean, you might hit the bullseye, but it's highly unlikely. However, you will get good at throwing darts. That you will get good at. See, the mindset, this particular mindset, and this attitude of working hard, practicing hard, but doing without a real plan is really stopping many judo players from being great because they just think all you have to do is work hard. And it's not true. Unfortunately, they just did not know, or nobody told them to invest in their careers correctly, and they do so early. So they got trapped into doing something that they didn't bother to change because it seemed like it was working. They don't understand that what got you here won't get you there. They were doing the same thing over and over again, but doing it without a flight plan, a crew, a GPS, and a captain. Now let's return to the ultimate judo success secret in the world. The real thing that I want to share with you, the real thing that I would like to provide to you today, this ultimate judo success secret. It is small enough for you to take with you, but so grandiose that it's going to be difficult for you to wrap your mind around. See, do you know why the judo players with goals succeed and why those without them fail? Well, let me tell you this. I'm going to share this particular success secret with you when it comes to judo that will actually change the way you compete, practice, and think about judo immediately. If you can mentally and emotionally grasp and grab a hold of what I'm going to tell you completely and fully, your life on the mat and in the gi will never be the same again, I promise. What you will see is that you will suddenly become what people call lucky. It will seem like you can bend favor in your direction. It will seem like winning is just attracted to you and losing is repelled. The things that you want on the mat at practice and in competition will just seem to fall in place. Your worrying, anxiety, and nervousness before hard rounds or randori or hard practices or big tournaments will disappear. The doubt, the fear, and the huge lump in your chest and your throat will be a thing of the past. Here's the key to judo success and the key to failure in the sport of judo. The key is you are what you think about. Let me repeat myself again. You are what you think about. You literally become what you think. I thought this was crazy until 1999 World Judo Champion Jimmy Pedro revealed something to me one day. He said, you have to get to the point, Roddy, where when you look at the brackets for a tournament that you no longer are concerned with who you have to fight, but you know they are concerned about fighting you. Man, that was some powerful information that he gave me one day. I don't even think he remembers telling me that, but he told me after practice that you have to get to the point where you're no longer looking to see, or you no longer care who you're going to fight, but you know they care about fighting you. I got to the point where I just used to walk over to the brackets and count the matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I got a final later on tonight. That was it. I looked at the top side, looked at the bottom side to see who wasn't there, and went back to my room. And that was it. See, from the beginning of time, the sages, educators, lovers of wisdom, and prophets, they differed on many things. On many things when it comes to life, death, heaven, hell, doctrine, dogma. But it is on one point in which they all agree. And that point is, you are what you think about. Listen to what Shakespeare wrote in Hamlet. He wrote, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Meaning, when you look at the brackets before a tournament, the brackets are exactly what they are. They're just brackets. It is you who actually decides whether you are going to win or lose by what you think and what you say after looking at the brackets. They're just names like Johnson, Smith, Henry, Ferguson, Pedro. My goodness, they're just names. It's just a bracket. It's you who actually decides whether you're going to win or lose by what you think and by what you say. What you think has already determined how hard you did or will train. What you think has decided how you feel about the outcome of the tournament and how these things will play out. Your life in judo is literally what you think it is. It is really that simple, but that difficult. And that is one of the strangest secrets in the sport of judo. See, the great writer and author Ralph Waldo Emerson is credited with having said, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." See, once you change and alter and modify your thoughts and your thought processes and ultimately what you think about judo, you can create a new life for yourself in judo. And one of the best books ever written, the Bible, and I tell you, I don't push my religion on anybody, but it is a fantastic book. It's written in Romans 12th chapter, 1st and 2nd verse. "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Do not conform to the pattern of what everyone else is doing, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Think differently. The major problem is that most people are thinking like everybody else, and most everybody else is losing. So you have to stop thinking like the losers and start thinking like the winners. Thinking accurately and correctly and applying faith to and through your judo will work for you remarkably. Remember, when it comes to you and your sport, to you and judo, to you and being successful, your ability to be successful is based upon you pursuing a worthwhile sporting goal, a worthwhile judo goal. You have to realize that the man who does not have a goal, who does not have a clue what way he desires to end up or where he desires to go, will ultimately be frustrated. He'll ultimately be upset. He will be the person banging his head against the wall, the person crying after the tournament. Just think about the times before practice where you've had anxiety and you're worried about who you're practicing with, who you're going to train with. Think about the moments before a tournament when you're looking at the draw or the brackets and thinking or hoping that you get a good draw. Imagine those times when you stepped on the line to compete and have been so nervous that you literally lost before you even started, before the referee even said Hajime. I know for a fact that I've traveled internationally and have been on trains and planes and have been so frustrated with the outcome of a trip, a training camp, or tournament results that it was emotionally crippling. I have cried on planes and trains before. I am telling you. You get to that point. My life during such a period was filled with frustration, worry, fear. I literally became what I thought about. I thought about losing, and I was losing. I thought about losing, and I was losing. It was not until I changed my thinking that I changed my life in the sport of judo. Now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, well, how does that work? If all I got to do is just think differently, how does that work, Dr. Ferguson? Well, listen, why is thinking so important? How do we become what we think? Well, I'll explain how it works. In order to do this, I will explain and illustrate how fertile the human mind is, if you will. Just take a walk with me here mentally. It's fertile just like soil. That which we plant and that we produce. So suppose you're a farmer that plants something on an acreage of land, okay? And this farmer can choose what he likes. He can plant whatever he wants. He can plant fruit, vegetables, trees, weeds, etc. The land provides the farmer with a choice and an opportunity. The land does not care what the farmer plants. That decision is the farmer's and the farmer's alone. Now remember, we are comparing the fertility of the human mind with the soil of the farming land. Because in reality, the human mind, like the land and the soil, does not care about that which you plant. Its only job is to return what it is that you plant. The land doesn't care. The soil doesn't care. This is the law of the land. Now, suppose this farmer has two seeds in his hand. In one, he has the seed of an apple, the other of a rosemary pea, a seed used in jewelry that has been linked to many deaths. It is toxic, poisonous, deadly. And this farmer grabs a shovel and he creates two divots in the ground. In one, he drops the apple seed. In the other, the rosemary pea seed. The farmer then covers up both holes and husbands them and takes care of them. As he does this, what will happen? Undoubtedly, the land will return to him what he planted in it. The land will reap that which you have sown. Remember, the land and the soil don't care what you plant. It will return the poison, the rosemary pea, that poison, that toxic thing, in the same amount of abundance as it will apples. The fertility of the human mind surpasses that of land, and is far more mysterious and far more awesome, but it works in the same fashion. Your mind does not care if you plant a poisonous thought or a productive one. Ones of health or ones of poverty, ones of winning or ones of losing, ones of fear or ones of triumph, ones of epone or ones of getting choked out. Your mind doesn't care what you plant. You can plant judo success or judo failure. A concrete, worthwhile judo goal or anxiety or fear or confusion or doubt and so on. But what we plant will not return void. You see, the mind is the last great mystery. It is like a universe that is still waiting to be discovered and full of new mysteries. It contains riches that surpass all money and goods, riches and abundance above that which we can ever ask or think. And it's so powerful that it will return what we desire to plant. Now you're probably saying, well, if that's so simple and true, then why aren't more people successful in judo? Why aren't more people winning? Why are people not thinking and using their minds if that's the secret? Well, the answer is simple. See, familiarity breeds contempt. That which we have, we devalue. And that which we do not, we covet. However, the crazy thing is we cover for things that are truly available through what we have been given for free. See, becoming an Olympian, a world champion, or winning matches really does not have anything to do with having great judo. Great judo is a bonus, but not a necessity. There are plenty of people who have great, solid, and beautiful judo who find themselves on the losing end of a judo match or tournament. I have seen more than a few people with great judo who are reduced to sitting in the stands and scratching their heads trying to figure out how they lost, when in our actuality, all they had to do was figure out before the contest how to win. See, every Olympian, world champion, gold medalist, national champion, and successful judoka has had that moment where they are just sick and tired of losing, and they realize that more training camps, more uchikomi, more newaza, more tachiwaza, more drilling, more weights, more running, and more fitness training is not the answer. They all are great, and they all are helpful in achieving success. But the most important thing, the thing that is the most important and the thing that we devalue the most because it is free, is our mind. How we think about our judo careers and about judo contests are the most important thing. How you think about your judo career and the matches you fight and the way you prepare is the most important thing. But you value your training camps, your tournaments, and your fitness training, the things that cost and that you pay for, more than you do the standard equipment that was given to you on the day of your birth, your mind. I'll repeat it again. You value the judo gi, your training camps, tournaments, fitness training, and the things that cost more. The things that you paid for, you value those things more than what was given to you at birth. Body, your mind. I mean, it's actually crazy when you think about it. The things that cost, that we pay money for, are the things that we value. The judoka's paradox is the exact opposite. Like, the exact opposite is true. Everything that you need to become a success in judo came to you for free. Your mind, your body, your soul, your dreams, your hopes, your intelligence, your intellect, your family, your friends. All of these priceless things are free. But the things that cost us money, like gis and ropes and weights and tape and plane tickets and supplements and the like, are actually very cheap and replaceable at any time. A good and successful judo player can be completely zeroed out at a few tournaments, get injured, be out for months, come back and attain the same level he or she was on, and even surpass that particular level quickly with little to no problem. I've seen it happen. I've done it myself. A good and successful judoka can do that several times over and over again. I saw Jimmy Pedro do it when he missed making the world team in 1997 because he was injured. He came back, had a year in 1998 that was one of the best years ever in judo. I think he won 84 matches and lost 3, and then came back in 1999, and I don't think he lost a match and ended up being the world champion. Look, a good and successful judo player can be injured, can lose tournaments back to back, and come back and be better than he or she was. Listen, even if our ligaments rupture or our bones break or our fingers dislocate, they can be healed, rebuilt, and repaired. But the things that we got for free that we did not pay for, those things can never be replaced. See, the mind is not utilized merely because we so often take it for granted. The mind is not utilized because we're not used to using it. See, it's not just not utilized because we take it for granted. It's not utilized because we're not used to using it. As I said before, familiarity breeds contempt. The mind can achieve anything we set it out to do. Any job, any assignment. It can win any match. It can finish any practice. But for the most part, we use it for the small things instead of the big things. We use it to talk ourselves out of investing in a group fighting package that we know can help us by saying it's too much when we will spend that much money or more to go on a trip. We use it for uchikomi. We use it to pull somebody down the mat in order to do seonagi. But we won't use it to win. See, psychologists and psychiatrists the world over have proven that we only use about 10% of our mental capacity, of our mental abilities, of our brain. So make a decision now. What do you want from your judo career? Plant a judo success goal in the fertile soil of your mind. Doing this will be the most important decision that you will ever make in terms of your life in judo and your career as a judo player. Do you want to be outstanding in newaza? Do you want to be a better grip fighter? Do you want to be a better thrower? Do you want to develop a quality technique? Do you want to fight and compete in judo competitions nationally, internationally, or just do local shiai? Just take out your proverbial shovel and dig a hole and plant this seed in your mind. Take care of the seed, water it, fertilize it, work for it, work steadily, carefully, and incessantly. Do this and watch your judo career flourish. Watch your judo success goals become a reality by applying this particular judo success secret. And the great thing about this universal law is not only will you become a better judo player, there's absolutely no way that you cannot. There's absolutely no way that your judo can't get better. There's no way that it cannot. It's a universal law, you see. It's like the law of gravity. If you get on top of a building and you drop something off of it, that thing will never go up. It will always go down. It is a law of nature. It has to work that way. It's irreversible and it's inflexible. And it's the same with the other laws of nature. They will always work. They have to. Once you choose your judo goal, once you plan it in your mind, once you fixate on it, once you water it, once you work for it, it will happen. It has to. Just concentrate and think about your judo success goal in a positive way. See yourself in your mind as already having accomplished the judo success goal that you have selected. See yourself doing the work on the mat and off the mat that is necessary for achieving this particular goal. See yourself investing in the right people, in the right coaches, in the right camps, and the right tools for judo success. See yourself doing the things in competition that you'll be doing once you have achieved this judo success goal. Picture yourself winning Shiai, throwing more people at practice, pinning more people, submitting more people, and standing atop the podium at the end of the day, at the end of the competition. See this, believe it. Everybody's judo career is the sum total of their thoughts. You are where you are in judo today because that is exactly where you want to be, whether you will admit it or not. Each judoka must live and survive off the fruit of his or her own thoughts and work. And your current thoughts about your judo career will mold your judo future. What you think about your success in judo today, tomorrow, next month, or next year even, will mold and create your life in judo. And what you have thought before has created the current circumstance in which you're in judo. Your judo career will be guided and directed by your goals in judo and by your mind. Now, would you jump in a car and drive out of the driveway and then mash the gas pedal as hard as you could and then remove your hands from the wheel? No, you wouldn't. You'd be silly to do so. You are likely to cause an accident, a major calamity, even with all the resources, the gas, the speed, the power, the housing, the seatbelt. You are still destined to fail without direction and control. The number one thing that I've noticed as a coach and a former player is that good judo players have what is called emotional regulation. And that means that you do not allow your emotions to get so out of control that you cannot think. Because once you lose sight of your judo success goal, you have literally taken your hands off of the wheel. And you will lose not only your direction, but control. You see, this very same law that gives us success is like a double-edged sword. We must control our thoughts and the way we think, because the same exact law that can apply to one's judo success can lead to one's ruination in the sport of judo. This is the strangest judo secret. This is what makes it so difficult. This is what makes it so strange. This is what makes it so difficult to attain. I know you're probably wondering why I call it strange and why I call it a secret when most people either know it already or know of it. Well, I'll be honest, it's not a secret. It's not a secret at all. Not at all. Some of the wisest prophets, preachers, teachers, educators, sages of yesteryear and today have taught this, and it's a recurring theme in the Quran, in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Book of Mormon. But as common as it is, very few people actually practice it. Very few people actually apply it, understand it, and quite honestly learn it. Most judo people are caught up in the randori, and more randori model. Some subscribe to the deliberate practice model. Some subscribe to the uchikomi, moichikomi, and nagikomi model. And while all these models have their benefits, and while all of them will work in some form or fashion, none of them will work for some strange reason without understanding this judo success secret. I believe that you can line up 15 world champions and 15 Olympians, and each of them will give you a different answer of why they were successful. And only one of them may possibly explain the secret to you, this particular secret. Let's just think about all the other judo players out there who don't even have a clue about how to do this or about this particular secret. This information was some of the most beneficial information that I learned as a competitor. I was not blessed to become an Olympic champion, but quite honestly, I made the mistake of not asking to be one. I used the most powerful law in the universe, my mind, to ask to go to the Olympics in 2000. And you know what? I went. I went as an alternate. And then I asked again. I used this particular secret to kind of change what I was asking for, because I did ask to go to the Olympics, and I went as an alternate. The next Olympic cycle, I asked to become an Olympian, a U.S. Olympian, to make the U.S. Olympic team. And you know what happened? I ended up making the U.S. Olympic team in 2004. I used the Judo Success Secret successfully, but made the mistake of not planting a better seed, the right seed. I should have asked for and expected something greater. I did not. My particular failure in my success was not aiming high enough. I should have aimed higher. I aimed low, and I hit the target. However, I did get exactly what I asked for, and I worked and I tilled the land of my mind through practice and study to bring forth the fruit from that which I seeded. Here's what you must understand about the sport of Judo. It is literally one of the toughest sports in the world. Controlling another human being while being in control of yourself mentally and physically is a monumental challenge, and quite honestly a tall order for anyone to accomplish. But all things are possible to those that believe. If the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. And if you believe something strong enough and with enough conviction and set your sights on it, you can most certainly achieve it. See, one of the most powerful poems on success was written by this guy by the name of Burton Braley, which is entitled Success, and it reads, "If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if only desire of it makes you quite mad enough never to tire of it, makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap for it, if life seems all empty and useless without it, and all that your scheme and dream is about it, if gladly you'll sweat for it, fret for it, plan for it, lose all your terror of God or of man for it, if you'll simply go after that thing that you want with all your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, famished and gaunt, nor sickness nor pain of body and brain can turn you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, you'll get it." Now, here's how to use the ultimate judo success secret. I've told you the ultimate judo success secret and how it works and how it has worked for me. Now I would like to tell you how you can use this secret in your own life on and off the mat, in your judo career, and in your preparation process and processes by putting this particular judo secret to the test. I want you to come into agreement with yourself and honor your hard work, your sacrifice, your training and preparation by doing this particular exercise, a small test that will last for 30 days. I can assure you that it will not be easy, but nothing in life worth having ever is or was. But I can guarantee that if you will honor yourself and those who have sacrificed for you, and give this one judo success secret a try, and give this test a good and honest try, it will completely change your judo career, and it will enhance your life as a judoka for the better, forever. Now understand this. Dr. Orson Swett Martin said the following. He said, "A lobster, when left high and dry amongst the rocks, has not instinct and energy enough to work his way back to the sea, but waits for the sea to come to him. If it does not come, he remains where he is and he dies. Although the slightest effort would enable him to reach the waves, which are perhaps within a yard of him, he will sit there and die. The world is full of human lobsters, men stranded on the rocks of indecision and procrastination, who instead of putting forth their own energies are waiting for some grand billow of good fortunes to set them afloat. See, you're literally being given the reins to take charge over your judo career, over your life on the mat. So take them. Take them right now and stop allowing others to create your destiny on the mat and create your own today. When I was an engineering student at Howard University, I took many classes that addressed the laws of physics as purported by Isaac Newton. Newton discovered some laws of physics which apply to natural bodies in the universe. These bodies include objects as well as people. One of Newton's laws was, or is, every object that is in the state of uniform motion tends to remain in that particular state of motion unless or until an external force is applied to it. The other important one is, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Why is this important for your 30-day experiment? Well, First and foremost, you must understand that you are in your current state, and you cannot and will not get out of your current judo state without doing an exercise like this, because this external force will create the change that you need in your judo career. And secondly, when you put this law into work, it cannot fail. It is a universal law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now, please understand that the results of your 30-day test will be in direct linkage with your effort on and off the mat. You will get in it. You will get out of it what you put in it. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. I cannot break it down any simpler than that. You will get out of this experience what you put into this experience. If you want to be an Olympian, a national champion, a world team member, an Olympic champion, a national champion, you must pay the price. You must pay the price of long hours of practice, studying, analyzing film, sticking with the difficult adherence to your craft, to be successful in grip fighting, and to understand how to become a good tachiwaza player. You must grip. You must steadfastly grip. You must embrace grip fighting. Listen, I don't want to really stick on this point, but when it comes to being successful in judo, you have to be successful in grip fighting. And you need to remember that the judo player that really succeeds in tachiwaza is the one who has the ability to grip. Like grip fighting in tachiwaza, proper hand placement during uchikomi, understanding the method to hand placement and which hand to reach with and why. The grip fighting in newaza, understanding how to apply gripping strategy in practice and competition, and knowing when to grip and when to go or when to attack. The art and science of kumikata in and of itself is important to your success in the sport. But to be successful in grip fighting and developing our way to becoming great tachiwaza and newaza practitioners, we must be willing to pay the price on and off the tatami. Now, what price is that? Well, it's multi-planar, if you will. It's a variety of things. First, it's the complete understanding that effectively, emotively, as well as intellectually, that we literally become the type of judo player that we think about. That we must control how we think about judo if we are to become great judo players. It's understanding fully and completely that as you sow, so shall you also reap. You have to understand the principle of reaping and sowing. It is important. Secondly, it's about removing all the fetters from the mind, all the negative thoughts, and permitting your mind to soar as it was divinely designed and constructed to do. You can't get caught up in the rule changes by the IJF and the international rule changes and the rule applications, your governing body's rules, or how they select teams and all the other things on the periphery that you cannot control. And really, they have no impact on you. They don't. Once you take total control of your judo career, once you realize this, then you realize that your limitations in judo are self-imposed, and that the opportunities for you on and off the tatami are enormous beyond your wildest dreams. Once you take over your responsibilities of thinking. So when you're thinking negatively about referees and decisions and calls and team selections, those don't have anything to do with thinking positively about your particular worthy goal when it comes to being a successful judo player. You gotta stay focused. You have to stay regulated in terms of your emotions. This is important, because if you're able to do this, there's no stopping you once the best you walks on the mat. And you must get to the point where you're able to rise above the narrow-minded thinkers, the narrow-minded pettiness, and the narrow-minded prejudices inside of the art and the sport. That has nothing to do with your success in judo. Nothing. Thirdly, Use all of your determination and courage to force yourself to think positively about your judo career, your path in this sport, this art, to set a clearly defined judo success goal for yourself, to unlock your potential by allowing your marvelous and limitless mind to think about your goals in judo from more possible angles, to let your imagination speculate freely upon the many different possible iterations and situations for success in judo to come to fruition for you, to refuse to accept, believe, or receive that there are any circumstances or outcomes possible which are strong enough to defeat you in the accomplishment of your purpose in judo, in your judo success. To act swiftly, promptly, decisively, and conclusively when your course in judo is clear, and to keep constantly aware that you are the master of your fate and you are the captain of your soul. Let me pause here to share a poem with you. There's a poem that I learned by William Ernest Henley, a poem entitled Invictus. And the poem reads as such: out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I think whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not once nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. This particular poem in and of itself is powerful because in the first stanza, Mr. Henley writes, out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole. That means from one polarity to the next. I think whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. He doesn't want to be off-putting here, so he doesn't want to eliminate or discriminate anybody from reading this particular poem, but he's letting you know, I'm on a dark pit, and it's blackness all around me, yet my soul is unconquerable. I am in, he says, in the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not once to cry aloud. I am in the clutches of circumstances. Things are not going well, but my soul is unconquerable. My mind is unconquerable. I am to the point where I'm hurting. I am to the point where things aren't going well, but I refuse to wince. I refuse to cry out. He says, under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but I am bleeding. I feel the blood streaming down my face. It is dark. I cannot see. I don't know where my help is going to come from, but my soul remains unconquerable. It says, beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. Meaning, even when I get out of here, there might be worse waiting for me. Yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. Yet the thing that has been menacing me, the black dark cloud that has been following me, the circumstance that is on my life, on my shoulders, the weight that's on my back, which has been bothering me for years, will still find me unconquerable. Although I am bloody, it will still find me to the point where I refuse to wince, where I refuse to cry out loud, where I refuse to give up. It will not find me afraid. And then he says, it matters not how straight the gate. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. It matters not how charged with punishment the scroll. It doesn't matter how hard this thing is or how hard it's going to be. It doesn't matter how many times you knock me down. It doesn't matter how many times I get thrown fully prone. It doesn't matter how many times I fall. It doesn't matter how many tournaments I lose. I am still the master of my fate, and I am still the captain of my soul. And the strength comes in the fact that I control my mind. I control the way that I think. And I choose how to respond to this particular thing. And I know if I hang in here long enough, that others will quit when I stay. And I will be just fine. Because when they quit and I stay, by default, I will win. Because you have to sit in that pocket and fail 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 and lose and get beat down. and allow all those failures to add up to that point when that one failure is subtracted and the gateway for success opens for you. The fourth thing that you need to do is you need to create a vision board. Create a vision board, and on it put a picture of yourself atop of the medal stand, right around the picture of the tournaments which you have won, the ones that you want to win, or the teams which you want to be a part of, or the teams which you were a part of. Do this no matter if you want to compete, be a team manager, or part of the coaching staff. Find the locations of the tournaments and write down that too, and get pictures of those places and of those tournaments. Print out your ticket online. Do everything save for pay for it. Just get it. Don't pay for it. Register, log in all your stuff, take a screenshot of it, put it on your vision board. In your mind, literally book your ticket, your flight. Create a date on the calendar of your vision board that shows where you'll be on that date. One of the greatest books in the world tells of writing down your vision and making it plain so that it can be seen. Do this. See yourself in the judo competitions. See yourself in the judo camps. See yourself on these teams which you desire to be on. Take a picture of this. Put it on your phone. Put it on your electronic devices. Look at it. Study it. Focus on it. Fixate on it. Saturate your mind with your judo success goals. Now let's go over the important points and the price that each of us must pay to achieve wonderful things in judo. 1. We literally become the type of judo player that we think about becoming. 2. Remove all the fetters and negative thoughts from the mind about judo and permit your mind to soar as it was divinely designed and constructed to do. 3. Use all your determination and courage to force yourself to think positively about your judo career, your path in this sport, this art, and set a clearly defined judo success goal. 4. Make a vision board and study it every day, multiple times a day. Now, here's the 30-day test that I want you to perform. Now keep in mind, this won't make your judo any worse, so you have nothing to lose by doing this particular test and everything to gain. There are 2 things that we can say about every judo player. Each of us wants to win something, and each of us is afraid of something that could possibly cause us not to win. For some people, it's running. For some people, it's climbing rope. For some people, it's investing everything with no guarantees. For some people, it's fighting lefties. For some people, it's competing in a different country. For some people, it's having a loved one die during an important competitive season or spurt. For some people, it's getting injured at the most inopportune time. Whatever the situation, whatever the particular situation which you fear, we will focus on what you want from judo, not what you do not want from judo. We will plant the apple seed, not the rosary pea, which is poison. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get an index card or a note card, and I want you to write on that card. I want you to write on that card what it is that you want or want to develop in the next 30 days. It may be a better uchimata. It could be that you want to throw somebody for a prone with a solo guard in practice. It may be to develop a better jujigatami from the turtle position. It may be not to get scored on in practice. Or it may be to make a world team, a junior world team, Olympic team. Or maybe to win a championship, a national championship, or a competition. Or earn a medal or a gold medal in the next competition. Perhaps you would like to raise a specific amount of money through sponsorships so you can travel and train more. Or maybe for you to get invited to a training facility or a school so that you can continue training. I know of one judo player who has just one simple goal, and that goal is training and practicing at the Kodokan in Japan before he dies. It may be a particular position in a judo organization, or teaching judo to your children, or finding a way to get your kids or your daughter or your son to love the sport like you do. No matter what it is, each of us wants something more out of judo. Whatever that thing is, write it down on your index card. Make it clear. Make it specific. Make it concise. Write it down on your index card, clearly, concisely, and specifically, what it is that you want from the sport and art of judo in the next 30 days. Make sure that it is a single and clearly defined goal as it relates to judo. Now, you don't have to show it to anybody, but you can if you like. But the key is to carry it around with you so you look at it several times during the day. Think about it. Meditate on it. Put a smile on your face when you're looking at it, when you're reading it. Get upright. Put your shoulders back. Fix your posture. Look at it first thing when you wake up in the morning. Look at it again before you retire in the evening. When looking at it, remember that you must become what you think about. And since you are thinking about your judo goal, you will realize that particular goal in judo. In fact, when you get down to it, when you couple this activity with looking at your vision board, you will find out that once you wrote down your goal and once you made the vision board, you're really already acting as if you accomplished the thing. So that's how you should conduct yourself, as if you already accomplished it. That is the key, to start acting as if you already have what you were thinking about. Because in fact, based upon the law, that thing is really already yours the moment that you write it down. Once you write the vision and you make it plain and you fixate on it, it is yours. Look at the successes of all the people in and around the sport of judo as you go on with your judo career. You have as much right to these successes and abundance as anyone else. Medals don't have any names on them before competition. Nobody has a spot reserved on a team for them or a spot reserved on the medal stand for them. You have as much of a right to these things as any other judo player. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't make an Olympic team or that you can't win. Or you have as much of a right to these things as anybody else. It's not only yours for the taking, it is yours for the asking. Remember, all you have to do is remember Matthew 7:7. You just have to ask for it, seek it, and knock, and the door will be open to you. Now we come to the hard part. And it's hard because you have to form a new habit. But once it's formed, man, this thing is going to be easy. You'll be able to do it for the rest of your judo career. You already have a habit of thinking negatively. That's by default what we do as human beings. The mind already has a tendency to do that. So thinking about your judo career positively is going to be somewhat new for you. Thinking about your career positively all the time is going to be a new habit for you. But once you form this habit, it will become easy. Now, here's what you do. Each time you think about something that is negative in terms of your judo success goal, stop thinking about that right away. About what it is and about what you're afraid of or what you're afraid might happen or what is going to happen. And replace that with a positive thought immediately. Stop thinking about your judo fears and focus on your judo goals. Each time a fearful or negative thought comes into your mind about your goal, replace it with a positive mental picture from your vision board. Replace it immediately. And that's why we want to make the vision board, so that you have something that you can immediately access mentally. Because that picture or vision will already be in your mind for you to clearly access it. You won't have to construct anything else. Access that particular vision that you already have placed there and use that. Not some manufactured foolishness from your subconscious. Focus on the deliberate judo goal that you have created and reprogram yourself and your mind on your judo success goal. Now, I will be completely honest with you. There will be times when you feel like giving up. But as I tell my clients, it's just a feeling. It'll pass. See, it's easier for judo players to think negatively instead of positively. This is why so few of us are successful. But change your mind, and you will change your group. It's time for you to put yourself in the group with the successful judo players, in the group with the few, not the many. And here's the most difficult part. Don't concern yourself with how you're going to achieve your goal in judo. That's none of your business. That's like trying to figure out why gravity works. That is none of your concern. Leave such things to a power which is greater than you to handle and worry about. All you have to do is ask, seek, and knock, and do the work in order for good fruit to be born. Just keep repeating to yourself, ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, knock and it will be opened up for you. Every person who asks receives, and all that seek find. And those that knock will have the doors open for them. And even in the Bible it tells you don't worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about itself. Your job is to focus on your goal. And to be honest with you, this secret is as grandiose and as simple as that. In fact, so simple that in this world of PCs, smartphones, medical advancements, and engineering achievements, it's hard to understand and digest. It's difficult for judo players to understand that a clearly defined goal, purpose, work, and faith really trump everything else. That doesn't mean that all other things are not necessary. They are. They just are not as important as these four things: goals, purpose, work, and faith. So for the next 30 days, please, man, do your best. No matter what you have chosen in terms of your judo success, no matter what you have chosen in terms of your judo success goal, no matter what you choose to be good at, do that thing as you've never done something in judo ever before in your life, and you'll be amazed at what you will achieve in the next 30 days in your judo career. But I got a warning for you. Do not begin this exercise unless you are ready and fully committed to doing 30 full days. Do not. You have to be committed. You have to be all in. Now don't forget the index card. It is super important. As you begin this new way of training, also make sure that you look at the vision board. On your index card, write down your judo success goal. On the other side of the card, please write, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. Once again, do your vision board exercise. Okay? Don't forget your index card. It is super important as you begin this new way of training. Make sure that you write your judo success goal clearly, concisely on one side of the card. And on the other side of the card, write, ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you will find it. Knock, and the door will be opened up for you. In your spare time, during this particular test period, read some motivational books that'll help you. Inspirational books like the Bible, Coffee with Roddy by Roddy Ferguson, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and other books that instruct and inspire. Nothing great in judo was ever accomplished without fixation and inspiration. Now remember, one of the major keys in judo for all judoka to be great is to embrace the concept of mutual welfare and mutual benefit. Remember that Newton's law speaks of every action having an equal and opposite reaction. Therefore, as you go through this 30-day test, please be mindful that your success will always be measured by the quantity and quality of your giving to other judoka. Make sure you offer yourself up as an uke, a training partner, a throwing partner. Make sure you assist, share, and help out where you can. Grab the broom before practice and after practice. Sweep. Come to practice early and make sure things are in order. Ask if there's anything that you can do. Be ready for practice. Be well behaved at practice. Ask how you can be of service. Because remember, you need partners too. And in judo, no man is an island, and no person can get good at judo by themselves. Your returns will be equal to your service. And it is always more blessed to give than to receive. If you believe that you can become a better judo player by being selfish and doing things like throwing and not taking falls, or only giving 100% when it's your turn to do something, but not when it's your turn to be uke for someone else, then you're fooling yourself. Just as sure as you breathe, I can guarantee that you will get back what you put out. You will get what you give. Giving willfully and cheerfully is an important part of this particular 30-day process. Please do not ever, make the mistake of thinking that you can circumvent this. It is impossible. The stands, bleachers, and dojos are full of people who tried to make new laws just for themselves and not operate under the laws of the universe. They were not ready to reap what they had sown. If you get nothing else from this, please get this. The wealth of your judo career is waiting for you to sit at the table and partake in it. But to pull up a chair, you will have to pay a hefty bill as you do to eat at any fine dining establishment. And the same rules apply with judo. You have to dress the part, look the part, act the part, and be willing to pay the price. You also have to order like you already have the money and know that you have it. Most people cannot sit at the table of judo success because they have not done the work to be amongst that type of company or to pay that hefty bill. So they relegate themselves to smaller meals and different establishments. They lie to themselves that the food there is just as good, when the truth is they want to eat at the other table. Well, you can switch tables, you can switch groups, and you can put the currency in your pockets that need to be in there so that you can order comfortably from the Judo Success Buffet. Just start to think differently about yourself, about your career, and what it is that you want on and off the mat. And do this particular 30-day exercise and watch this ultimate judo success secret flourish in your life. I implore you to do this. You will experience a life in judo beyond your wildest dreams. I can tell you right now that becoming an Olympian in 2004 was one of the best things that happened to me in sport. I've won national championships, 4 of them, 2 of them in college. In football, I've won championships in wrestling. I've run track and competed at the pin relays. There have been a lot of things that I've done in my athletic career. I played 3 sports in college, and I really have not received the I can't even put it into words, because if I try to put words on it, it will do it an injustice. But just the amount of satisfaction and fullness that I get in my heart from having had the opportunity to represent my country as an Olympian and be an ambassador of sorts in sport has been an awesome privilege and an opportunity. And the things that I've learned from coaching and competing, it is just a privilege to share with you. I hope that you apply these things. I hope and pray that you do the 30-day test. And please do yourself a favor and visit www.judosuccesssecrets.com and get the free videos and the other things that I have for you. During the course of your 30-day test, you may want to go back and listen to this particular audio or read this particular book again. I would highly encourage that. I look forward to you achieving the things that you look forward to achieving. I look forward to you having greater successes on and off the mat. And I look forward to you sharing what you've learned with someone else, so the secret is no longer strange and that it's no longer a secret. This is Dr. Roddy Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, 4-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, undefeated MMA fighter, author, motivational speaker, and coach, saying, God bless you and have a super fantastic day.